Internet, and welcome once again to the Free-to-Play Cast brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I am your host, Mike Byrne, aka Magicman, and even when I am 50, I'll still be saying that. That'll make sense a little later. But we've got a lot of news here. This is episode 349. We're recording on July 24th. We're doing the show live on twitch.tv/MMOBomb. So feel free to give us a follow there so you can check out all of our streams Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern and our live free-to-play cast where we do them live. So chat, you're joining us. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Chime in on the topics as we go, but also joining me to cover all this somewhat confusing news in some cases. Mr. Jason Winter, how are you, sir?
Do I actually have to do this, or can I just sit here and let the cast happen like I'm playing V4?
Well, we're definitely going to get to that too. Yeah.
Okay.
And I am not looking forward to doing that first look. Chat has...
Why not? You just sit there and let it go and just talk for 20 minutes.
Yeah, chat on the stream yesterday, Jason, suggested that maybe you should do the first look for that one. And I was like, there is no way I can convince him to download this 3 gig file. No way.
Yeah.
Also on the line, Ms. Quinlan Bowers. What's up, Q?
I was actually thinking about downloading that 3 gig file until I watched your video.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got 2 first looks we're going to take a look at later in the show. Although the V4 first look is not up yet, it'll be recorded after streaming today, so it'll go up either late today or early tomorrow morning. You're going to get a taste of our opinions on it, so we can just call that one done. And then we've got Rogue Company to look at, too. But we should get to the news first, so let's slide over and get started with the news. All right, what do we got first? So it's been like a recurring thing the last few weeks, and I'm loving it because there are dead portions in the gaming season in general, even more so when you only cover free-to-play news. But it has not been a dead season for the last 2 months or so, particularly with delays and new games and things. So we've been doing a feature on new games and new content, and that's going to continue today because we've got news on that front. And I think we'll start off with the biggest of them all, Jason Winter. Conqueror's Blade got a new season. You streamed it earlier this week. I know, Q and I don't have a lot to add to the whole Conqueror's Blade discussion, so I'm going to let you take a few moments here, as many as you want, talk about a game that's currently dear to your heart and what the new season's like, what it's added, how the stream went. Are you digging some changes? Do you not like some things? What do you got?
You're such a troll. This is not the first listed thing in our notes.
It is not.
Guys. The actual big news is listed first, but we're doing this first apparently because he's a troll. It's fun. I'm getting back into it because I really kind of gotten out of it for the past week or two before the new season kicked off, and getting all the new stuff in there and be able to do all the different quests and so on to get all the units and unlock different stuff. It just gives you, it's like even more so. I guess it's no different really. I mean, this isn't unfamiliar to people. When a new big update or new expansion comes out, you're like, ooh, look at all the new shiny stuff or whatever. There's a whole lot of new shiny stuff. There's one new map, and they kind of redid some parts of the UI, which is neat. So on some level, I was thinking to myself, gonna get in, gonna be battles, whatever, same as I've been doing before, but having all the new little fiddly stuff to unlock and all the little achievements and whatever to get, that just gets me going, gets the blood pumping somehow. I don't know why it shouldn't, but it just does.
Is this one, have you bought a season pass? Do you buy them?
Yeah, I bought them for the last 2 seasons, this one and the previous one.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you had done all of them or most of them or anything like that, because you did for Destiny, once?
Yeah, the first time.
And even though we both agreed, we were like, oh yeah, we kind of like the way they're doing the season pass, even though it does really have, the same thing Phantasy Star Online has in that fear of missing out. There are times I love Phantasy Star, but I'm like, I don't really want to play today, but I need 40 minutes to get this shit done and Destiny did that. You don't have that feeling with Conqueror's Blade. It's nicely done and balanced and nothing that makes you feel like you have to play it to get that done because you spent X dollars on the season pass.
I mean, they have a nice thing whereby it's in game they have a mission that you do 3 battles and another mission to do 5 battles. So that's sometimes I'll do only 3 and do those in consecutive days, so I get the 5 between them. Sometimes I'll do 5 for my one day to get through. And I found that last season rather, doing everything got me through to like level 85, which was like the final really good reward. Actually, there's another one at 100, but that's so much of a grind, I'm not worrying about it. But yeah, I got through good enough that I thought I got enough value out of it, even with taking a little bit of a break here and there. So I'm kind of okay with it. It depends on if they're going to actually run it for 10 weeks, though, because they have the little achievement stuff, the weekly stuff, they have it listed. It's going to go for 10 weeks. Last 2 seasons, they've extended that beyond, so you've been able to get progress beyond those because of some of the delays they had with the coronavirus and everything else. So it might be a little tough for me to get everything done in 10 weeks if they actually hold it to that this time.
Jason is still with us. Don't think he's not. I'm going to remove his camera. It's bugging the hell
What?
out of me. It is
What?
slightly cropped enough to get the green border when you talk on it, and it's bugging the hell out of me. So I got to fix that. There we go. All right. Oh, I don't know. It just bugged the hell out of me. It bugged the hell out of me.
How did you survive, man?
I know. Q, you and I would just sat by and watched this one. I mean, do you have any thoughts? I don't. I don't play it.
Not, I mean, I guess it's nice that they decided this was the good time to add the Turkish language support.
Yeah, because it's an Ottoman theme, so yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely, you have to. If you don't know, you got to go listen to the Four Lads, Istanbul, not Constantinople. It was referenced on Jason's stream when we play it. If you don't know the Four Lads version, you probably know the They Might Be Giants version, right? So yeah, I can't play it here because then I'll get copyright strike to hell and back. But whatever. As soon as Jason said it, I was like, yes, Constantinople, Istanbul. Wait, it's nobody's business but the Turks. That's all.
Why did Constantinople get the works?
I already told you it's nobody's business except the Turks. What else? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I was trolling. So the biggest news is that Hi-Rez Studios did drop Rogue Company into closed. But what, Jason?
Nothing
did
at all.
drop Rogue Company into closed beta. We already have the first look up on that one. We did a stream on it as well. So we're gonna. In this portion, we're just going to talk about the game launching into closed beta briefly. We will hit Rogue Company in more detail later and our personal opinions on this one when we get to the first look reviews towards the end of the show. But Q, give us the rundown as far as closed beta, what platforms, founders packs. Give us the works on this one, like Constantinople got.
Right, exactly.
Jason, that was a callback.
Anyway, so basic high-res stuff. It's in closed beta, but the NDA is lifted because at this point they're just doing the stuff that they do where they're trying to get it, esportsy friendly and all of that jazz. It's pretty much available on every platform except for mobile, obviously, but Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC via the Epic Store, though. Nothing else.
Which a lot of people are usually and are pissed about.
Right. The only reason I can come up with for that is because they made a big deal when I did the walkthrough thing with them that, it was Unreal and all of that. So that's the only excuse I can think of for that. To get into it, you either need to win a key somewhere or buy a founder's pack. Although it being high res, they're pretty much giving the regular keys away left and right.
Hey, it's funny you should say that, Q. If you are not in beta and you'd like to be, head on over to mmobomb.com. We've got one giveaway up right now that is plenty of keys for anybody that wants to play on the PS4, the Xbox One, or the Switch. We're working with Hi-Rez right now to get PC keys, but the giveaway that's up right now, if you're going to play on console, we got keys for you. They are only beta access. It's not a Founders Pack. You're not getting like the $15 Founders Pack or anything. But if you want beta access in North America, yes, thank you, Old Glory. In North America on PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch, we got that giveaway up on the site for you. Go ahead, Q. Sorry. I'm never going to miss a chance to plug.
Right. Other than that, there's 3 founders packs. Like you said, the low one, which is like the $15 one, it includes 6 of the rogues, and just, other general access stuff. Then there's the highest priced one is a $60 one. So you're spending somewhere between $15 and $60 to get in, and the $60 one gives you, I think, all but one of the rogues, because it says an additional 6 rogues, and there's 13 rogues. So if you're already getting 6 and you get 6 more, it means there's one.
Yeah, I actually had to
Not
look at
included.
this because I thought the same thing when we were streaming Q and we were looking at it. If you look at the rogues that are offered in the starting pack, they differ by 1 than the rogues that are in the pack above it. So you get, and if you look at the pack above the starter pack, it says you get the starter pack contents. So what you end up getting is the 6 rogues that you have default access to just by accessing the beta, the other 7 rogues that are currently available, and then 1 rogue that is to be named in the future. So you get
Rogue.
Yeah, you get rogue 1 and 2 in the starter pack, and then the pack 1 above that says rogue 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 that are currently available, but they advertise that you get 6. That 6th one is not in the game yet, and you grab these 2 because this pack does contain this pack as well. So you do end up with that mid-tier package with all the current rogues and the next rogue that comes out. Yeah, I don't know. We did this on stream because I was like, wait a minute, I did the exact same thing, Q.
Yeah, I was like, because I read, 6 and 6, and I was like, but there's 13, and okay, why aren't they giving you the last rogue? But that makes sense now.
Yeah, it's technically today you get 2 and 5 and 1 to be named later.
All right, yeah, that makes way more sense. But yeah, other than that, it's basic high res kind of stuff going on. They're gonna do the same, at least as far as they told me, same kind of monetization that they do in all the games across the high res stuff. So skins and paints and all of that kind of general stuff that you spend money on. Probably the crates that they have in everything. And other than that, they're just doing their general, tweaking as they go and thing that they do.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about our thoughts on the monetization in the game when we get down to it. But if you want to play, we got keys for you on all the consoles in NA, and stay tuned. I'm trying to get some PC keys out of them, too. They're being a little stingy on those ones. My guess is they have exclusive PC giveaways with big companies right now, and they're being stingy. Things like, Razer or Alienware and stuff like that.
Although if you keep an eye on like Stu's Twitter and stuff like that, he's been giving keys away, so there's a chance you can maybe grab a PC key through him.
Yep.
Till then.
Before we slide over to the next topic, I guess we should mention Rocket League is going free to play. I don't think anybody cares about that, though, so we can probably just move on.
Yeah.
No. All right. Rocket League, the popular soccer, football, depending on where you are in the world game, is going to go free to play, which is stunning, right? I'm shocked by this news. It was designed as a free-to-play game all those years back. It's free-to-play in China, and yeah, it's finally going to go free-to-play. It is available on Steam already. You can buy it on Steam, but it is going to launch on the Epic Game Store when it goes free-to-play, and that is what, Jason, this summer-ish?
Summer is all they're saying, yeah.
So, I mean, summer really only has about 1 month left.
2 months.
Yeah.
Technically, it's September 21st or whatever, yeah.
I guess technically. So, yeah, you've got sometime in the next 2 months, Rocket League going to go free to play. And I seem to remember, like, did we talk about this? Maybe, during a yearly predictions thing, Jason. I seem to remember this coming up, and some people laughed at us.
Yeah, everybody laughs at me. I mean, for other things, but, for this too. Yeah. It was a prediction that somebody made in their yearly prediction article about what free-to-play gaming is going to be like in the year 2020.
Yeah.
Too bad I didn't predict the global plague, though. That should have been something I should have had ready to go. But
yeah, I'm looking back on that list. Now, Jason has hidden our answers. As far
I
as
haven't
what
put them in yet. I
he doesn't put those into the article.
And then I'll do the review.
Right. When we do the review at the end of the year, like he has stored on his computer what Q and I thought of each of the predictions. I would be interested though. I don't remember like
Neither do I,
if I
honestly.
challenged you on
I
this
haven't looked
one
it
or
up.
not. Or Q, do you remember? Like, did we agree with this
Honestly,
one?
knowing the way my answers typically go, it was probably something along the lines of I really think it should have been free to play by now, but who the hell knows?
Probably. Here's the weird kind of thing, though. This game is already available on Steam, Jason. You can go buy it right now on Steam. Sometime in the next 2 months, when it goes to the free to play conversion, it will launch on the Epic Game Store at the same time. Here's the weird part. When that happens, if you're already on Steam, you'll still be able to play, and you will still have crossplay capability between Steam and the Epic Game Store. But at that point, you will no longer be able to get the game from Steam if you don't already own it. Talk about really just like sneaking in and grabbing an exclusive off of somebody. And I mean, Epic Games has a reputation of doing this right now, but this is literally, hey, it's going to be free on our platform and you can't even buy it on the other platform anymore.
I wonder at some point, the Epic realized that they're just getting really bad, not PR necessarily, but just getting a bad feeling from everybody regarding how they're doing this sort of thing. At some point, that's got to kick in, I think, and I wonder if it's going to hurt them in the long term.
Yeah, for those of you that do own it on Steam, if you're worried about like the cross, what goes with you, if you own the game on Steam before the free-to-play launch, you'll still receive all the DLC released up until that point, and all the cosmetics you may have, and all your progress and inventory from Steam. It will be carried over to the Epic Game Store edition of the game, but then from then on, you'll have to be getting it on the Epic Game Store. So very, very weird on that front. I kind of don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, to take a game that was on another platform and pull it away from there is. I'm generally okay with the exclusive and so forth for Epic Game Store. I don't mind it that much, but this is kind of an iffy move. And it's not like they needed the money. Psyonix didn't.
Yeah, Q, what do you think about this? Like, I would almost be more okay if the Epic Game Store had snaked it as a free-to-play launch and Steam still had it, but it was not free-to-play through them. That would suck. I mean, that would suck.
It would have made more sense that way, or just straight up made more sense to where they went, okay, well, we grabbed it as the free-to-play thing, and it's just straight up not available on Steam anymore. Instead of this weird thing where it's like, well, it's there, and you can even play with people on the Epic Game Store, but you can't get it on your platform of choice anymore, even though it's still technically there. Like, that to me is way more irritating and weird than if they had just, I mean, it still would have really sucked for Steam players, right? If they were just like, oh, well, you had it on Steam, but now you have to come over here to play it. Even with, allowing the data to come over and stuff like that, it would have sucked, but it wouldn't have been nearly as weird. And there wouldn't be the fact that that it's still technically available on Steam because all of those people are playing it on Steam.
Yep. It's very weird. And what does it mean, Jason? Do we know for future DLC? Is it just Epic Game Store or bust? What if I'm still playing on Steam by the time that happens? I don't have the ability to get the DLC because I'm playing on Steam and never swapped over? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would assume that.
Go ahead.
That is a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
Always
I would have to imagine if you're still playing on Steam, they'd allow you to. But then.
I mean, they specifically call out in the announcement that you'll receive all DLC released up to that point.
Yeah.
But that is pending a migration to Epic Game Store is what they're pointing out there. If you are on Steam and you migrate to the Epic Game Store, we'll give you all the DLC that you have, all your various cosmetics that you have. Well, if I don't migrate, I would expect that I still retain my DLC and my cosmetics and stuff. But what happens 6 months down the road when that next DLC drops?
It says in their FAQ, the question is, can I still play Rocket League on Steam once it launches on the Epic Game Store? The answer is yes, Rocket League will still be updated for players who already own the game on Steam.
So it'll still be updated.
Yes, yeah.
See, and again, that just makes it more irritating because at that point, the game is there. Mm-hmm. The game is in the Steam system, and they're updating it in the Steam system, which means people should be able to get the game through Steam. Unless they're pulling some sort of weird thing where eventually it will become available again as a free-to-play offering on Steam that you can grab
It could
from
be like a
there.
1-year exclusivity deal or something like
Right,
that. It
right.
could
And
be.
Whole Milk's asking, but how would you install it to the Steam install would be something to get an answer to. Well, if you have a game in your Steam library that is still live and still serviced through Steam but is not available to buy, you still retain the option to install that or uninstall it as needed. It still shows up in your library as being able to do that. If you haven't purchased it and it goes away, then yeah, you would not have the option to install that because you never purchased it to begin with. 75 million players, 5 billion matches, and 29 billion goals scored. And I will be honest, I have played 2 matches, maybe, of
That's
Rocket
more than
League.
me.
2?
Yeah, I've played none.
Yeah, we're going to be calling in our ringer, Zach Sharps, to do the first look on that one. He's actually pretty damn good at the game.
Yeah.
And since Jason and I are not, so you have better footage to look at, we'll call in Zach Sharps. He already knows that. I haven't even asked him yet.
He volunteered.
But he volunteered basically on Twitter, knowing that. So when it's time for first look Rocket League, we'll get you somebody that can actually do an aerial flip and not somebody that sits there and jams the sideboards with their bumper for an hour.
I mean, we'll play a little bit probably just to see what the free-to-play experience is like and talk about it.
I'm going to stream it. Yeah, I'm going to stream it and stuff. But
yeah.
All right, let's move on and talk about some oddball crazy news. Jason, we're going to go to you first. Apparently, if you like Lord of the Rings Online, Dungeons & Dragons online, you're just asked out lately. What the hell is going on over there?
Yeah, it has not been a good week for their servers. They have running on fumes or sometimes not even getting the fumes. They've had repeated and extended downtimes going on for like about a week now, although to look at their Twitter, for the Lotro at least, as of 18 hours ago, they say the game worlds have reopened. We will be monitoring the health of the game world overnight and provide more information and a thank you gift to other matters in the near future. Please note that most in-game chat and friend ignore lists are disabled, except for say and tell. We'll let you know when chat service reopens. So the servers, I guess, are up now. They've been up and down all week, but you can't talk in them or something. They are having issues.
What is going on in Standing Stone Games, man? It's just they don't want to pay for servers, I guess. I don't know. Although, would you?
All the hamsters died. All the hamsters on the little wheels, they died. They didn't replace them.
Like, arguably, would you have invested in enhanced infrastructure queue at this point for Lord of the Rings Online and DDO? Like, unless you had a huge problem where you had to, I think it'd be like, if it's working, then we don't need. No, we're not. You're not going to have like an influx of 200,000 players all of a sudden. But still. God, this has been going on for like 10 days now.
Well, I mean, that's a very, businessy way to think about it too, right? It's kind of like companies that are like, oh, we're still running on Windows ME and it's totally fine. And they do that, right? Like, what was it when New Jersey was doing the unemployment stuff? They're like, we need COBOL programmers because we can't do this. So it's a very businessy thing for just to be like, as long as it's working, it'll be okay. But maybe the problem is the fumes killed the hamsters. And that's where the problem comes in. Like, there was a problem. I don't know if you guys know about this. In the United States, we have an unemployment system. It's funded through the federal government or through the states. And if you lose your job, you're like laid off. You get some type of money assistance for a little bit of time while you find another job, right? Well, with all the COVID stuff, there's been record unemployment claims and things like I myself have a small unemployment benefit that I get being on furlough right now. Is nowhere near what my income was, but it's there. And when this all started spiking, and Q had just referenced the COBOL thing, that was actually a huge problem, is that all of a sudden the systems in these states were getting bombarded by unemployment claims and additional funding that the federal government had approved to add for a little bit of time. And nobody, the systems all these unemployments were using was COBOL, COBOL, and they were like scrambling to hire on programmers because nobody knew how to program in this damn language anymore. I just have visions of Standing Stone Games doing the same thing, Q. You're absolutely right. Like, they're just looking at it going, do we have anybody that could do this on this stuff anymore? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, they
So
changed data centers like 4 years ago,
that
so
was
you'd think that
that
they
was a
would have.
long time ago. Yeah.
After 4 years, they would have probably still have some people left around who know how to. And not only that, but it's about the people at the data centers understanding how to do their stuff more so. So I don't know.
Oh my. Anyway, poor DDO players. Here's a weird one for you. We've seen the WWE, right? World Wrestling Entertainment. We've seen them do crossovers. Sorry, with other games where they put their characters in. Like Brawlhalla was one, right? We
Yep.
saw like John Cena and stuff become Brawlhalla characters. Here is one Q I never would have ever in my entire life put together as a cross promotion for the two games. WWE partnering with World of Tanks. What the hell?
I mean, I guess the Sergeant Slaughter thing makes sense, but I the rest of it seems a little weird. I can kind of see the branding thing there on Sergeant Slaughter, but otherwise, although to be fair, I haven't paid attention to wrestling since before The Rock had a movie career. So
Q, can you sit up or angle your camera down? You've like slowly been falling out of your shot the entire show here. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, on the DDO thing, Mofo in chat is saying that apparently there was a huge influx of players due to like a freebies promotion they were running, and they're, players are kind of hoping that these problems go away when they leave. But Jason, so all right, maybe Sergeant Slaughter. I'm with Q. Great. If you remember Sergeant Slaughter back in the day, very G.I. Joe character. Fine.
He actually was a GI Joe character,
right? Well, yeah. On GI Joe too. Yeah,
cartoon and everything.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. But how do the I'm seeing Undertaker here, Stone Cold Steve Austin, SummerSlam branding. What the hell?
I mean, World of Tanks, they'll
they will partner with anybody. They said that in our interview.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, why not? You got pro wrestlers are big, tough, and strong, just like a tank. So why not? Plus, they have French tanks in the game, so why not put Andre the Giant theme in one of them? So there you go. Perfect.
All right. As far as if you want to take part in it, Austin's tank, Stone Cold Steve Austin's tank can be earned using the free battle pass. All the rest will require you to purchase one of the season's passes. And yes, there's multiple, either 2,000, 5,600, or 11,200 gold for the 3 different season passes. Rowdy Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Roman Reigns, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, those are coming later, and I think there might be just crew members, as opposed to having tanks designed around them.
I kind of
you can have Ric Flair and he can go woo every time he.
Yeah, I kind of want Ric Flair to steer the tank. I kind of want Ric Flair driving. Yeah, what a weird promotion, but whatever. I'm going to say something, and maybe some of you will have the same reaction Jason did. Star Wars The Old Republic is now available on Steam. And when I said that in the background chats earlier this week, Jason's response was, isn't it already on Steam? Hasn't it been on Steam for a while? And the answer is no. No, it has not. But 3 days ago, effective 3 days ago, July 21st, Star Wars The Old Republic is available on Steam. There's going to be Steam, like the cards and achievements and stuff. Those will come. The achievements will be added later. They will be retroactive, too. So if you already have done whatever it takes to trigger an achievement, when they're added in Steam, you'll get it. You are able to carry over your progress from Star Wars The Old Republic's client and the launcher you've been using for a long time. Full crossplay between the two platforms. And the trading cards, I believe, are already there, but the achievements are going to come later. Emotes, backgrounds, rewards for crafting badges, stuff like that. So it's going to have the full Steam treatment. And yeah, if you didn't know it's like 7-8 years old. If you didn't know that wasn't on Steam, you're not alone. Jason works for an MMO site and didn't know that it was not on Steam.
You know what? He might have been thinking about that other sci-fi game that starts with Star.
Wait, Star Citizen?
No, Star Trek, which is
that one. Star Trek's been on Steam for a while. Yeah, Perfect World did that whole migration thing of like all their titles. Wait, which title did they leave out? Remember when we covered the story back then.
City
They were
of Heroes. I know.
Was it Perfect World, maybe?
No. They were migrating a bunch of them, like Star Wars or Star Trek Online. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there was one more thing. I don't know the answer to that question, Guardian, because I already have the launcher and everything. I play it on Steam. Does it, and Ninja, you do play, so I'm going to ask you this. Does it launch directly through Steam, or is it like other games that already have a launcher where Steam boots the launcher and then the launcher does the game? Does this bypass the SWTOR launcher or not? That I don't know. Let's see if Ninja can give us a little answer on that one. I know Ninja's been playing it on Steam a little bit. That would be nice. That would be really nice if it bypassed the launcher. That's always been a terrible launcher. All right, last piece of news, and this is probably the one we'll spend the most time on here before we move on to other things and finish up for the day. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. Coming sometime in 2021. It was announced yesterday at the Xbox Games stream. And nobody knew what the hell this was, really. Like, they look. Obviously, it would look like a prettier PSO2. The game's 8 years old. Certainly could use a graphics update. Was this, you had to log in through the normal login, even though Steam launched it. All right, so it still uses the Star Wars launcher. Blah. Anyway, it looked like maybe this was just a graphics upgrade to PSO2, one that it could definitely benefit from. But then, we were seeing things like characters running around in an open world setting, and it was very confusing. We didn't know if this was an expansion. Is this an update? Is this just a graphics overhaul? Is this new content to PSO2? What is going on with this? Luckily, 24 hours later, today, we do have more information. Still some outstanding questions on my side. In fact, it's going to be an episode of MMO Thoughts that will go up after the free-to-play cast today, so there'll be a lot of videos going up. I did a video yesterday called MMO Thoughts asking your opinion on whether Final Fantasy XIV's really expansive trial pushes it into a free-to-play game in your mind or not. So check that one out and chime in on that discussion. And today, I'll be giving a video with all the details on what New Genesis actually is. Here's the high-level overview for you. PSO2 Genesis is going to be a standalone client. It will be separate from Phantasy Star Online 2. Two different games. The PSO2 character generator will be updated and upgraded so that New Genesis and original PSO2 will be able to utilize the same characters. You can create a character in one game and then use that character model, not character itself, but character model in the other, whichever way you go, from PSO2 to New Genesis or vice versa. But PSO2 New Genesis is being billed as an open world or an open land RPG experience. And one thing that I notice is not in anything that's being said right now is MMO. I don't know, does that mean single player? Does that mean co-op? Did they just neglect it and it'll be MMO experience? Not sure. That's still outstanding. We'll have to see. They're calling it an open world RPG online game. It will be free to play. All of your characters in PSO2 can be used in New Genesis. However, while you'll be able to take over your emotes and your cosmetics and all of that fun stuff, you will not be able to take certain things like in-game gold, which is called Meseta, and other currencies. You will be able to take the cash shop currencies, that's fine, but in-game currencies will be separate between the two games, and your progression in the two games will be separate. You don't take your levels, your experience, your skills, your techniques, you don't take anything like that with you to New Genesis. Your mag even has no impact on your stats and doesn't help in battle. It's an entirely different system in New Genesis, whether that's just graphics or battle system. Biggest part of the graphics, we have fingers we can use now. Yay.
Oh, they actually highlight that in the video.
They do highlight that. The character creator does look awesome. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It does look a ton better than the current one. A lot more customization and shading options, a lot more units you can put on your character and where you can put them on. As far as equipment going from one game to the other, there are going to be differences in appearance for a little while, and the equipment is not the same. While you may have the same sword name in both games, the stats, the affixes, and the potentials on them may be totally different between the two games. Both will run concurrently. Now, we only have confirmed release in 2021 here in the West on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and the Windows 10 through the Microsoft Store, or what are they called? Microsoft Azure. There is a version of yesterday's trailer that is on I believe it's a Chinese YouTube site, PSO2 that had basically the same trailer, except at the end, in their platforms, it said also PlayStation 4 and Switch and everything. So then that makes sense to me, because in the East, it is available on those platforms. So it makes sense there would be an Eastern trailer that had those in there, and the Western trailer does not. Although the site that updated this today, the main game site, they do point out as an asterisk footnote that if the game becomes available on other platforms in the interim, New Genesis will be available on those platforms too. They don't name anything. Obviously, we know there's a tease that sometime soon we'll have a different PC portal to get the game. So presumably we'll have it through there. And if we get PS4 or Switch or PS5, then New Genesis will be available there too. Very confusing. I'll give some of my thoughts at the end here. I'm not going to give too many because I'm going to have a whole separate video on my thoughts and getting yours. But Jason, what do you make of this?
What I make of it is that I'm glad I didn't actually get into the original PSO2, because if I'm going to wait for this thing to come out. Yeah, it's just, and I don't know why they did. Why just wait the extra year to put this out instead of doing PSO2 as you have it now. Let that go for 3 months, and then throw this new version at people and hope they'll move over or not move. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know how they're. I don't know how they're making decisions there, but they're just not working for me.
Cute.
Yeah, I mean, with all the problems that they've had on PC and everything anyway, I've been just kind of waiting. So I guess at this point I'll just wait until the other thing happens and just go from there. It kind of felt like when I was reading through it and just kind of, trying to get the explanation and everything, it almost felt to me kind of like that whole Defiance 2050 split thing that they did, because there's this game is running the same and this game, and they're kind of sort of different but not entire. Like it just kind of felt like that to me.
And I thought of Secret
And
World and Secret World Legends.
yeah, except they eventually just completely shut down, and unlike this, where it seems like they're maybe planning on continuing with the one Secret World, the original Secret World. They were just like, all right, from this point on, we're not updating this anymore. It's still here, but we're not doing anything with it. So if you want anything else to go on, you have to go over here. And this doesn't have that particularly going on.
Yeah, I kind of mixed emotions about this one too, and I'm going to read this sentence because I think this is a big one from what they announced on the site today. So the heading is 2021 will mark PSO2's largest update ever. Then the sentence says, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Phantasy Star Online, we will be aiming for even greater heights and reshaping the story, game system, graphics engine, and character creation system. PSO2 will be reborn, oh god, as an open field online RPG with a renewed battle system and game system to match. And again, I point out the maybe glaring, maybe accidental omission of MMO in that case. I don't know. And the other sentence that I want to point out is, where is it? Are we proud? Man, where is it? Oh, Q, I linked this damn sentence in chat because I was like, this is kind of a big deal here. Well, I don't know. The basic gist of the sentence was that this is in lieu of an update for PSO2. This is taking the place of an update for PSO2. So in August, we'll get episode 4. We're planned to get episodes 5 and 6 to basically catch up to Japan throughout the rest of this year into early portions of next year, pending delays with anything like that. That'll catch us up. Everybody will be on episode 6. And then this is kind of taking the place of, at least for now, an update to the game. Here it is. This massive update will be released instead of a new episode. and is planned to launch after episode 6.
Didn't we cover something a while back where they were talking about like through episode 8, or am I just imagining things? Because I really feel
I
like
don't
there
know, because
was
there's only 6
more.
available right now.
Right, there's only 6 available, but I seem to recall them talking about the next updates for Japan and how the West would be in line with them by that point. And I think it mentioned like episodes 7 and 8.
Look, I am all in, short version of my opinion, I am all in favor of more Phantasy Star Online content, whether that's PSO2 or another Phantasy Star game, whether it's single player, whether it's MMO, I don't care. Give me more. All in favor of that. Graphics overhaul? Absolutely. The game is 8 years old. I'm definitely in favor of a graphics and system overhaul. Something more open world rather than instance? Hell yeah. Sign me up. These are all really, really, really good things, in my opinion, as both somebody that's just covering free-to-play gaming and somebody that has a vested personal interest in the Phantasy Star universe and Phantasy Star games. This is win across the board. Being able to take my PSO2 character into said game? Hell yes! Sign me up. Wait a minute. You're doing all this instead of updating the game I already play. Well, wait. If they're not the same game, and I've got to do progression in both of them, and I've got to farm... Christ, can you imagine? Like, I feel like I'm going to have chores in 2 Phantasy Star games now, Jason. Like, I'm not going to feel like playing that day, but I got to get the dailies out of the way real quick. Now I got 2 of these games. Oh, great. My emotes come with me. Fantastic. I am, like, really torn on this one. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, one, this is... If we don't know when this is coming out and it is replacing a new episode, that means potentially we aren't getting a new episode in episode 7 anytime in 2021, realistically. I mean, if they're not putting Q1 2021 or Q2 2021 on this, Jason, they're just saying 2021. I have to believe, being pressed, that is indicating the back half of the year. Otherwise, they would be fronting it as much as they could. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they'll launch it earlier. But if they're just putting 2021 on it now, do you really hold out hope for an episode 7 coming out, knowing that this is in lieu of a new episode?
I mean, that sounds like 2 different issues. One is the notion I have to play 2 different games. One is that I'm not going to get an update in my current game.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But doesn't that feel shitty that you're not getting an update in the MMO you play because they were working on another game? Not because they're building that content and it's going to be delayed, and we could put it out in March, but we're going to put episode out in 2021 December.
It depends on what
feels
the
like,
game is.
Hey, don't be making content for the game that we're currently monetized, making our free-to-play money on. Both of these will be free-to-play, by the way. And it feels, I don't like it. I don't like that aspect. It feels like Bless Online and Bless Unleashed. How Bless Online players were really pissed off when they found out there were so many problems still with the PC version, and the Bless Unleashed was in development when that was just dropped and a trailer came out and everything. And while granted, they came out publicly and they were like, look, this has always been 2 separate teams, and maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. It never shook that feeling for Bless Online players that felt ribbed, that there was stuff that their game was missing and that was sorely needed, and here they are working on another game. And I'm not implying that Phantasy Star Online 2 is in any way comparable to the problems that Bless Online was having with their launch, but it does smack a little bit, Q, of that feeling of, wait a minute, instead of developing for this game that you've already got vested interest in, that people are playing, that you want them to keep playing, you're making essentially something else, and we really don't know how the 2 fit together yet, besides this new one takes place 1,000 years after the Battle of Oracle, so it's totally different characters and story. Gear doesn't go. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. I'm like stuck in the middle here.
Do you think it's possible on the updating and all of that, especially for a game that's however many years old technically, that they just brought to the West, that somewhere along the line they just kind of went, you know what, this is all really a huge pain in the ass for a really old game, so maybe we should just do something new and like that kind of thing, like they've kind of realize that maybe the investment in something that old
Totally
is just
fine.
not
Fine.
gonna hold out.
Totally fine. Then what you do is you release all the episodes, you give it a few months, and at the end of 2021, you say the story continues in this. We've upgraded the engine and everything. Here's a month to migrate your characters and all your emotes and everything. Like, you know, how Destiny 1 went into Destiny 2, although you got jobbed out of your damn emotes and all of that stuff during that transition. But you migrate them onto the game. Like, Destiny 1 doesn't receive updates anymore. It's still live. You can still play it, but it's not developed for anymore in any real meaningful development way. Then you announce that this is taking over, but we're still going to leave the old one online in case you want to go and play it. But this is really taking over. Right now, the billing is kind of like, you could do both. It's like, fuck you. I don't want to buy cosmetics to do in both games or this, you know, because, oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jason. I saw you wanted to chime in.
You're going to hate it. You're just going to hate having to do it because they're going to do it in the worst possible way.
Always the optimist.
I don't know. There's so many things about this announcement that I love. Then there's some that I'm like, eh. If it's a single player RPG, open world RPG, the way they have not said single player, but they have not said co-op or mult or MMO either. And when you say open world RPG and not MMORPG, I'm thinking things like open world
online,
RPGs. Though. Yeah, they've said online. Yeah, right. They've said it's online. Fantastic. Great. So presumably I'll have some type of co-op. I don't know. I would love another single player MMO or a single player Phantasy Star. It's been way too long. Way too long. We'll have to wait and see. Fuck you, Sega. First looks. Let's talk about Rogue Company briefly. Well, no, you know what? Let's talk about V4 real quick because this isn't going to take long. We played I ran V4 on the stream yesterday, twitch.tv/MMOBomb. Nexon's new sexy PC mobile cross-play, cross-progression MMORPG. Yeah, it's... Oh, my God. It was a fun stream because we just talked about whatever the hell we wanted to talk about. We were talking about Final Fantasy, the trading card game. We were literally, me and 40 people were just sitting there talking while this game played itself in the background because it's one of those mobile games. You have a few skills in the lower right-hand corner in a circle that on a phone you could press with your thumb, and literally the game will quest and do everything by itself. The only thing you have to do is click to turn in quests, click to turn to start a quest. It'll track, it'll fight, it'll do potions, it'll do everything you want by itself. It is one of those games that you're gaining levels and you're gaining combat points, some absurd arbitrary number that the better your gear gets, the bigger this number gets, and that is an indication of your power. There are 900 bajillion subsystems in the game, whether you're researching monsters, collecting pets that are timed, collecting mounts that are timed, getting gear, enchanting these demon stones, getting up your proficiencies or whatever the hell that was called. There's a ton of menu micromanagement. There is a currency tab that has 15. I kid you not. I'm not joking. It has like 15 currencies on it, none of which I know what are for. There's a subscription, if you want to, pay $10 a month, that actually, in addition to experience bonuses and stuff like that, actually is stat impacting. It provides an attack buff, percentage scaled attack buff, and a percentage scale attack speed increase. World bosses, raids. It's one of those games that if you were playing it on mobile, I wouldn't bat an eye at you playing it because you'd probably be sitting there doing something and clicking on it a couple of times. Just clicking on it a couple of times. And then maybe when you're max level and you're doing world bosses or PvP, that's when you're actually a little more interactive with it, playing with your buddies. Fine. I wouldn't bat an eye. The fact that this was on PC, and I kind of expected that's what this game was going to be, is just mind-blowing to me. Like, why on earth would you play this on PC? Unless you just wanted to sit and have it running in the background to feel good when you got on your phone next time and you were level 7 bajillion and 5. I don't know. It was... I didn't do anything. Go ahead, Jason.
Because on the bigger screen, you could take better advantage of the boob slider.
That's the thing.
This is true.
The boob slider, by the way, goes from about a large B cup to a G cup, maybe even a double G cup. There are no flat women in the world of V4. Small-breasted women do not exist in this fantasy world. In
Except the
fact,
little tiny people.
yeah, or the penguin people. Like, okay, fine.
Are penguins?
Yeah, they.
Yeah.
You can't
Oh,
be
now I have to
one.
play.
Did you notice though that in the subtitles, whenever they said penguin, it was spelled wrong?
Yeah, I couldn't tell which was wrong. I couldn't tell if that was the name of the race and it was a slight variation on the word penguin in the text, or if the voice actor was wrong by saying penguin instead of penguin, which is what the name of the race was in the
Penguin or
text.
something?
Yeah, I don't know which one was wrong. Here's the stupid thing about this. I wouldn't bat an eye at this game if there wasn't so many beautiful graphic things going on in this game. Like, oh, it's gender lock, by the way. I guess I should throw that in there too. Character models are gorgeous. Some things in the game are not. When you see flowers and it's the old PS2 rendering of here's a 2D flower placed this way and a 2D flower placed this way, so that from a distance it looks 3D. That does happen in the game, but the character models are good. There is so much dialogue, so much lore. Everybody's talking. There's so much voice acting that it's like, why is this there? Nobody is reading or listening to this. You encourage people to not play the game and have it play itself. Why was so much time and money sunk into these aspects of the game? Yeah, until about an hour in, Whole Milk's right, where all of a sudden the voice actors voice acted the first line of their dialogue and then it was silence for the rest of whatever that sentence was.
I
It
mean,
was
that's
so
probably a good. I didn't
bizarre.
get that far. I honestly did not get that far watching it
We
because
spent, we
at
spent
one
more
point,
time talking about this game than it deserves.
at one point, I was just like, I got to it and I was like, you know what, that is just enough
Yeah.
of that. But the voice acting is not great.
No, it isn't.
It's really kind of bad.
It's
And there's
not.
just some things about the character design that's actually a little bit creepy. Like they're super long spider fingers while
Oh,
they're
yeah,
waving their
yeah.
hands around.
Yeah.
And then my personal favorite, the one woman who kind of stood there and swayed a little bit, but her boobs were just whoever made this game has never seen a boob in their life.
Never.
It's
I
not
don't
how
know.
they work.
You want to play it on mobile, fine. Yeah, the looping animations are weird too during dialogue where they do the same motion,
Yeah.
do a sentence, and they just go. Over and over and over again. I don't know. Whatever. If you want to check it out, fine. We're going to do a first look on it. It's going to be short. It'll be like 7 or 8 minutes. Literally, I could just start the game and I'm going to talk. I won't even have to touch shit. But it is WASD movement and shit like that if you want to check it out. It's just not for me. Definitely not for me. What about Rogue Company? Briefly before we finish up with the bombs here. Jason, your thoughts on Rogue Company? I know we talked about the game, so just kind of your overview, final thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched you play a little bit, and
you have your first look up on this one.
Yeah, your first look on it. Yeah.
Oh, did I do the first look?
You did.
Wow. Jesus, Mike.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know what I stream versus what I record anymore.
I mean, I think I summed it up with a review that I saw of it. It said it's fine, and it looks all right. It's something that, for someone who's into like objective-based shooters and so forth, the deathmatch in particular, like I just don't like the CS:GO kind of plant the bomb, defuse the bomb sort of way of things. That side of gameplay has never appealed to me. Watching you do the deathmatch a little bit, I thought that looked all right, but it just wasn't enough to make me want to go, I want to play this instead of some other game I'm playing. If I didn't have a game right now and I wanted to play that, sure, I might give it a shot. And if it was free to play, which it really isn't at the moment, but yeah, there's nothing. It looks all right, but there's nothing about it that really stands out to me. Makes me really want to play it.
I liked it more than Valorant. I mean, it's in that it's in that style, that CS:GO, round-based modes like Valorant is, and I enjoyed it more than Valorant.
Because Valorant tries to put in like, oh, we also have Overwatch-style superpowers too. Look at how special we are. And this is like, nah, we just have like grenades and knives that explode and whatnot. So not really.
There were some things that I hope will get fixed during the closed beta. Like the gunplay doesn't feel extremely solid. It's no Destiny responsiveness or anything. The time to kill might need a little bit of adjustments too in some areas, in some modes, stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff missing right now. It's closed beta. There's no season pass. Presumably there will be one in this type of game. Bios for the characters are locked. Something called masteries for the characters are locked. We can't even see what they are and stuff like that. So there's still a lot coming. I thought it was okay. I'm actually I enjoyed it more than Valorant. It still is in a category that I just don't play a lot of. I will stream it occasionally, but I'm not going to sit there and just like play that on my night off type deal. Q, what were your thoughts?
I'm just sitting here trying to remember if they mentioned anything about a season pass to me when they gave me the walkthrough, but I cannot. And I threw away my notes, so for the life of me, I can't remember at this point if they mentioned one or not. But it is one of those things. I mean, it looks, it looks like it'd be fun. It looks like something I would be absolutely terrible at, but at least it's in third person, so that's a bonus for me. And like I said, as far as like them fixing things and everything, I mean, it is high res. They'll probably do like an extended forever, beta thing until they've got it just the way they want it. And, just sit there taking feedback or whatever. How much feedback they actually do anything based on is kind of different. But I mean, knowing their MO, they'll probably fix several of the things.
Well, and if it's anything like Paladins, a year from now, it'll be an entirely different game. It'll be an open world exploration MMORPG.
that too.
So check out the first look. And again, if you want keys for consoles in North America, we've got a ton of them up on the site. Let's finish up today with the weekly bombs. I guess I have to go first.
Yeah, you kind of do.
I saw. I just saw, but I saw. I'm going to give a dub bomb to Final Fantasy XIV's new trial extension. Now, whether or not you feel the game is now free to play for you, as far as the definition or not, that doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about here. Go watch MMO Thoughts that I put up yesterday and chime in there. But I am going to give a dub bomb to the trial itself. Extending the trial for 14 all the way through level 60. That's the A Realm Reborn and the Heavensward content. And all the classes, including the 3 released, an Aura race, if you want to I mean, it is just an expansive. Yes, there are limitations because it is a trial. It is not, meant to be all inclusive. And there are some RMT measures, right, on a trial to stop things from happening as far as real money transactions go. So yeah, there's a few limitations in there. Maybe they're deal breakers for you, maybe they're not. I think it's a fantastic trial because I really feel like at this point the first 35 levels, which was the old trial, just really weren't cutting it anymore as far as giving you an accurate representation, because you could typically get to level 35 within the first hour. And the trimming that's going to come with the I'm guessing.
Wait! I gotta stop you there. I'm guessing to level 35 in an hour.
You can get to level 35 in an hour and a half. Do you do your hunting logs?
Yes, and I have to actually walk to them.
Do you go?
That takes an hour in itself.
Do you go do fates?
Yes, I did everything. It took me like 3 months to get to level 35.
No,
It is not an hour.
Oh, come on. Chat's saying maybe 5 hours.
Does it take an hour to get to level 35 in Final Fantasy 14? I'm getting a head.
You know what? If it's free to play, if it was free to play, I would stream it today and pick a class and I'd have to roll a new character. But Chad, okay, fine. Chad is saying about 5 hours. How about that?
Oh, come on, well, if you don't care about anything, if you just want to speed through to everything, then yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it takes that long. Particularly because if you're doing a brand new character, you have all the side stuff and the main story quest to be doing. I'm not talking about
let me put it this way: as a new player, which I was, it definitely takes more than an hour, more than 5 hours even.
Okay. Then I will addend what I have said here. As a brand new player, yes, I could get to. I'll put it.
You still couldn't get it in an hour. I
could get it in less than 2. I could get it in less than 2.
Maybe.
I think I could get it in less than 2.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to try.
Yeah, that's your challenge. That's going to be your challenge.
I think you should stream it just so that we all know for sure that you're tracking.
That's what you'll do. When the free-to-play trial goes off, you'll have to play, and you have like the 2.5-3 hour stream. See as far as you can get. That'll be your challenge.
All right. All right. So well, I can't do it on August 11th, but that sometime that week we'll do Final Fantasy 14 on MMO Bomb stream as a free to play challenge. That's how we'll get around not
There
being
you
able
go.
to pay games. All right. So we'll do it anyway. I think it's a great trial either way. And as far as the way I presented it in the video, if you're a casual player, you've never played it before, there is easy 35 to 100 hours of straight content there. A lot of story, a lot of stuff to explore.
So
Again,
99 hours spent doing that post 35 content.
I hate you. Again, I was talking about speed leveling as somebody that's done this before, not as a brand new player. I hate you, Jason. Anyway, go ahead. Dub bomb. Jason, you're up.
I would give an A-bomb to Final Fantasy XIV's new trial extension for two reasons. One, you can't group with someone else who's doing the free trial. So if me and my buddy decide, hey, new game, we want to try this out. We never tried it before. Let's both make a free account. But we can't group. Which I get having some restrictions on grouping because, again, you talk about having anti-spam measures and so forth. But if I want to have someone in the game and add them to my friends list, for instance, so they're definitely a friend of mine, as someone who's not a spammer or whatever, I should be able to group with them. I should be able to play the game with them. So that part of it sucks. And the other part is the fact that you have to have a completely brand new account. So me playing, I have an account that's around level 35, level 40 or something like that. I can't jump into that and play the next 20 levels or whatever it is, 25, however many you get. So I'd have to start completely over, which means I'm probably not going to do it. So that's also kind of a bad feeling, I think. So I don't know. It has issues that go beyond the trying to stop spammers at making free accounts kind of thing that I think are not a good idea.
Chat giving a dub bomb to V4 for being the next gen MMO that Mike loves so much. Terranova, you're out of your damn mind. All right, chat, that's enough. Fine. I addend my comment. The 2 hour mark would be for somebody that has the experience level with the game that I do and not a brand new player. That's not the point that I was making with this, but we got sidetracked so badly. Anyway, go ahead, Q.
I'm actually going to give a bomb to your V4 stream because what I did watch of it just made me laugh my ass off the entire time.
We had a lot of fun. I have no idea what I'm streaming, by the way. I have no idea what I'm streaming today, by the way. I'm streaming right after this, and I have no idea. I haven't picked a game because I was recording a video. From the viewers, Cloak says, Tencent buying things, and I'm going to steer clear of all of them. I don't want Chinese spyware on my computer. Well, I mean, that might be a little bit of an unproven stereotype there as far as Tencent being a spyware-based company, but I don't know. And I think it's going to be harder and harder for, they are cutting out a lot of A Realm Reborn. That was the point that I was trying to get to, Ninja, but nobody let me get to it. But screw you all.
13%. You still don't go 13% in an hour. It didn't take your hour and 15 minutes or whatever.
They cut 13% of the quests. The quests that are remaining have also then been condensed.
It's still not an hour to get to 35.
Guys, God, we're never finishing this show.
We will find out when he does the stream. Then we'll know for sure it'll all be solved.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's going to be harder to avoid Tencent, I think, because there's an awful lot that you probably play that you don't even know that they're involved in. Go ahead, Jason.
I hope you don't want to play Path of Exile or Warframe. There you go. Box says, if only we all knew how much a train wreck Fault ended up being. On the other hand, the other Paragon remake predecessor has a closed alpha going for the weekend and it actually plays really well to how Paragon did prior to the update with the card system. It's very fun.
Yeah, I'm going to decline to comment on Fault right now. It's a small team, and they're obviously working with what they have, and I did a stream of it. We actually played a different game after 2 matches because, my guns didn't even make noises. It's just not ready for prime time yet, so I don't want to bash something that's still in development to the point that they are. Go ahead, Q.
Rick Hunsinger, I agree that the Cycle is actually a pretty good BR game. I don't gravitate to that genre either, but that one sticks with me. I only play 2 or 3 times a week, but I do look forward to it.
Right? Ninja Pandas, dub bomb and A bomb to Fault for being able to make a game so quiet that it makes you think you're in the middle of a forest. It was pretty quiet. Go ahead, Jason.
So I think that's where Mike got confused because when he played the Cycle, he bought his 25 levels of his Battle Pass right away. So maybe that's where he thinks he can get to 35 in an hour.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Corey V says, it's sad seeing Tencent is buying things. I hate how much they make their games pay to win. I mean, the core Tencent games, sure, yeah, maybe the ones they develop. What about Path of Exile is pay to win? What about League of Legends is pay to win? I mean, the ones they buy from other developers don't really do that. So,
Zhao says, wait for Beyond Light to be delayed further. I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be.
Beyond 2020.
And go ahead, Q.
Sneery, unsubscribe. Only so many times I can listen to a 50-year-old say, AKA man. Dude, if you're 50, how old does that make me?
How old does it make me?
I'm older than both of you, so.
No, you're not, are you?
Yeah,
I thought we had this discussion before,
and
Jason's the oldest.
And you got upset at me for thinking when I said you were older than me the one time.
I'm not going to ask anybody to reveal their exact ages here. I am 39. I will be 40 in February. Jason, are you older or younger than me?
I am older than you.
Q, are you older than me?
I am older than you.
Okay, so now it's between you two. I'm done.
I was born during the Nixon administration.
Oh, now I'm a bicentennial baby.
Okay, well then I am older than you. Yes.
Okay.
There we go. And you know what? I'm sorry you unsubscribed, but I'm not rebranding now. I'm actually a magician. I thought 12, 13 years ago it was Magic Man, because that's me. Screw it. When I'm 50, I'll still be saying it. Sorry, Sneery. Good name. Go ahead, Jason.
One Chiska says, yeah, that sounds like Neverwinter, going around the tough questions or just outright deleting them. Wow. Yeah, reference to your interview from last week.
Yep. Question of the week last week, which only one of you even cared about. What's the most expensive or bizarre, maybe not directly game-related item you bought as a collector, or how much was it? Sour says, oh boy, haven't told this story in a while. When I was a lot younger, my grandfather took me to a convention. At this convention, there was a biker memorabilia stall. Badges, patches, necklaces, the whole shebang. All of a sudden, this golden pin caught my eye. I turned to my grandfather and said, I want one. He looks at the big, buff, bald dude behind the counter and gives him the price. We buy it. I'm a happy child. Fast forward about 10 years later, and I come across this pin that I pretty much lost the day after I got it, and I am horrified to realize this is a golden hawk carrying a swastika in its claws. My family had allowed me to buy this because they were too intimidated by the bald guy behind the counter. I've lost it again now, and that's probably for the better.
Although I gotta say, if $10 is the most expensive, not directly game, I guess expensive or bizarre. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, or bizarre was the question there. That was the question there.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is nuts.
I guess when you're 10 years old or whatever he was, you don't recognize.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know any better.
Sure.
Yeah, no, you don't know any better. Oh, Whole Milk, is that you?
Oh, okay.
Legit. I was so confused when I found it later. So Whole Milk equals sour. Okay.
Makes sense. Well, he's been sitting on the shelf for too long.
Yep. All right. Question of the week this week for everybody. Does Final Fantasy XIV's new trial, make you call the game free to play? Basically what I asked on MMO Thoughts. I'm going to give it to you as the viewers too. Does you consider the game free to play? Isn't this similar to what EverQuest or Guild Wars 2 does with free content and buying expansions? You get the base game in an X-Pack, you have to buy future X-Packs, and you have some limitations. Is it free to play, or does the sub eventually being required make this really just a very expansive free trial to you? Let us know in the comments below. While you're there, make sure you give us your weekly bomb, dub bomb for something good, a bomb for something bad in the world of gaming or in life in general. And until next week, Q, where can everybody find you?
Hang it out on Twitter at Quitland.
Jason.
And find me on Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne.
Occasionally on YouTube, because I did
Mike
a video this week.
Byrne, a.k.a. Magic Man. And at less than 40 years old, you can find me right there on Twitter. But more importantly, follow at MMOBomb to get all the latest and greatest in the world of free-to-play. Until next week, stay safe. See you on the servers.